Hey guys, James Freeman here. Today we're going to go through a little bit of the application process with Permaguard. I got a beautiful Cirrus here, and what I've done so far is I put a piece of tape here just for reference. If you've got a Cirrus or been around them, you know that this area along the bottom, there's always a lot of carbon and deposits and lead deposits left over. It's pretty much all lead down the belly, and it's super hard to get off. You have to use something pretty aggressive to get it off. Neat thing about Permaguard is this is going to be a lot easier to get off. You should be able to just use a towel rather than sit there and try to essentially buff it off. But in this process, it's perfect because we've got, I'll be able to show you the process with Permaguard, and we actually will use Permaguard's products, buff this off, and then you'll see a side-by-side comparison of what this product looks like. So let's do it. Here we go, we'll go through some of the products I'm going to be using today. And we have the actual polymer from Permaguard. We'll use this in the last step. We have the treatment to start with, treatment for the paint. And I've got this aggressive detergent here that's going to start and get a lot of this off. Side plug, this is going to be a Permaguard video. However, I know a lot of Cirrus owners deal with this area. This is Buddha Belly, and this is specifically for getting off soot. So if you have issues with this on your Cirrus, I also recommend this. I'm not a dealer or anything, I just like it a lot. So if you get nothing else out of the video, that'll be good. So let's start there. I'm going to take my black rag here. We are going to start with our Buddha Belly. This stuff is pretty strong, so be careful with it. And I'm going to start there, working on getting this off. And you can see a lot of the light stuff will come off pretty easily, but then you can see underneath it's still pretty tough. I may give that just a second to kind of soak in. If you're used to cleaning this yourself and you don't use this, you're going to notice right away how much easier this makes your life. All right, so Buddha Belly did its job. It got a lot of this off. I'm not going to go all the way underneath the plane for the purposes of this video. But you can see we're starting with a clean area from here, and then we've got our separating line, and you can see what it used to look like right there. Next, we're going to take Permaguard's cleaner, and it'll remove any residue or what may be left over by the Buddha Belly. Alrighty, we are going to get our handy dandy buffer here. We're gonna stick our little booty on here. All right, like I said, there are more products, but for this example, I'm going to use Permaguard's treatment for berry damage surfaces to start with. A little bit goes a long way. Here, what I'm going to do is put about 3 rings. We are going to work this in. All right, let's get to it. Yeah, a movement that helps and a lot of people teach is go up and down, and then from there we're going to go left and right. And that's a pretty good technique that works for most things. Obviously I'm staying clear of the static port. When we sit down to do the entire plane, all those pieces that can't be touched, we'll tape them off to make sure they're protected. In this video, I'm just going to stay well clear. All right, so we used our treatment to start with. I'm going to use my cleaner, and I'm going to go back over it to take off any residue left. That treatment, to start with, takes out any swirls that are in the paint that come just over time. And there are more aggressive treatment options that we could use if necessary. Really, that's already made a huge difference just using that protective, the first treatment. We are going to change these out, put a fresh one on. Now we are on to the PermaGuard. This stuff goes a very long way. All right, same deal. I'm just gonna kind of work this into the area to start with. Need just a little bit more. All right, let's get to it. Same deal. I'm gonna go up and down and then left and right. All right, wow. Technique that we use and teach is as soon as there's a certain resistance that I'm used to feeling moving the buffer across the paint, and once it's good to go, you can feel it really let go. And now if I take my hand and run it across this, it is so buttery smooth. It makes a huge difference, and that's why it's so much easier to clean, because it's a lot harder for things to attach to this surface. I'm no chemist, but that's essentially what's happening. I'm gonna use my cleaner one last time just to get any residue off. And the result is just perfect. I think it's important, again, to remember why we're doing this. Most paint, a good paint job on a plane, obviously you can find your cousin or somebody that does automotive to do paint, but you want it done right if you want it. If you have an investment like this. And most paint jobs can cost $30,000 or more, and so this is going to just get that much more life out of your paint. And so hopefully you never encounter that $30,000 paint job on your plane. It can bring back to life a lot of paint that it won't do anything with like really poor paint. But if you have a 2008 plane that has faded paint, we can repair it and then put this on it, and it'll bring it back, and you may never have to repaint it. So I'm going to step back and show you the result, side-by-side comparison here. As you can see, once I pulled the tape off, how much is just living on your paint and deteriorating it over time. This process is going to get it off, and it's going to put a protective layer so that it never happens again. If this is something you're interested in, click the link in the description. Always like and subscribe. Happy flying.